Hey guys, just finished watching Marvel's Runaways, Season 2, Episode 7, Last Rites. Wow, what an episode. Oh my god. This episode feels like, other than the cliffhanger at the end of the episode, doesn't feel like that. Like the whole episode felt like a mid-season, finally the end of the last episode of a season, right? Except for the cliffhanger, which the cliffhanger is a pretty good cliffhanger, very good cliffhanger, but not a like cliffhanger for the end of a season, like wait a whole year to come back and watch next season, right, type thing. Not that big of a cliffhanger, but a great cliffhanger just for where we are in this season, right? So I think it's really cool. We start off this episode with like mixture of kind of flash forwards, like flashback 20 years with like Leslie Dean and her father dying type thing, and that young actress they got to play her, wow, it was really spot on. Looked exactly like the one they have playing Leslie Dean. I even had to look it up to the point where I thought, they related, making sure they didn't have the same last name and type thing, the actresses and stuff, and was spot on casting. It was really cool seeing that, and it was really interesting seeing that the actress had like different contact lenses, which were a little bit off, but the rest was kind of, it looked like they nailed the casting someone younger, looking just like her. That was really perfect there. We also get some flash forwards to the big fight at in the end of this episode, which at first I thought, like when I first saw it during seeing the flashes and stuff of it, I thought, oh, this is the big fight at the end of the season, right? And it can't be the end of this episode. And as things started moving on and stuff, I was like, oh my god, this is going to be at the end of this episode. And I think that was really interesting. It really was fun watching it, all that. So we see Carolina tells everyone, and that she's been meeting up with Jonah and all this stuff, and they decide to leave her behind. But then it just jumps to Jonah meeting up with Pride again, and that he ended up telling him everything that he's been doing. He captured Jeffrey and Joseph, and he kind of tried to kill him, but the kids saved them. He tells them all about that stuff, and then we jump back to the kids, and we see Carolina convinces Kurt to convince everyone else that they need to just save everyone in the ship, and that everyone who's related to Carolina, rather than destroy the ship. So that changes really fast, really there. Kind of, we leave, we cut back to them, and then they got their minds pretty much changed. They change their minds right away. So we see they go to Joffrey to make a plan, as they have him. Alex has him tied up, since he knows everything about the site and all that stuff. They try to use him as a plan, right? But they're smart. They don't let, they tie him up and don't let him, give him the information that he needs to kind of, to know, right? So I think that's kind of interesting doing that. And I'm surprised every time they have someone, like they had Topher, they have Alex's father here, that Nico's not using the staff to kind of, tell me everything you know about the dig site, boom, and just use the staff so that he doesn't kind of trick them and giving them whatever information. He didn't end up tricking them, but they had no idea they could trust his word. If Nico used the staff, then they could trust all of his word, because the staff would force everything out of him, right? I think that would be, I don't know why he's just not using it. I know it's use one spell at a time, right? And use it one use per spell, right? That makes sense. I get all that, but there's other ways that they could have used it, right? Different synonyms and different things to get the same thing going, because they prove that to start to hotwire a car, spark, hotwire, they just need the other words to mean the same thing, right? So I think that's you can use the spells over and over again, or multiple times with different words to get the same results, right? So I think that is something they need to kind of play more to in this show, and using it when they need to use it, and early showing it is giving us a reason why it doesn't work, right? So we see Victor watches the future TV, seeing his son, seeing Chase from last season, when he told, it was a future version which hasn't happened yet, telling him not to pick up the Fistagon. So we saw that again last season, so that'll be cool to bringing this future TV back into play. I forget the name of this TV, but it's really going to be cool to see, like, they're bringing it up for a reason at this point. They didn't kind of let us forget about it, and I think if this is foreshadowing that TV coming into play at some point later, being more important at the end of the season, what I would have done is I would have not done that. I would have not had this moment. I don't know why they had the moment here. I would get the idea, him kind of warning him thinking, oh my god, Chase is going to be fine, everything's going to be okay, because Chase is in that future sending a message, right? But we don't know, he might be the only one left, right? Everyone else might be dead. All the parents, all Pride, and all the other kids, right? He might be the only one left. He says that message, and it's kind of his dying message, right? Who knows? But I think the idea of kind of, if there is some sort of plan for this, for that TV, I would not have done this because it seems like this moment right here is just to foreshadow or to kind of remember this future TV still exists, and I would have liked to have not have that. And whenever it does become really important, they just kind of have it pop back up out of nowhere and you completely forgot about it, and I think that's a better way of doing it rather than having here's a reminder about this item, and that just kind of it takes out the surprise factor that coming up whenever it comes up, or at least if they did it, I would have done it, in the first episode, the first 2 episodes, not episode 7 if it comes back in episode 13. It seems a bit too too late in the season. Bringing it back, at the beginning of the first season, bring it, in episode 2, maybe 3, but first 3 episodes, bring it in there, then have it, appear again in episode 13. Then there's that big lot that can happen that you kind of forget about it. But I would have just not have it, because if you watch season 1, you know that it exists, and when it would pop back up in episode 13, let's say, you'd be like, oh yeah, I remember that from season 1, right? Of course, then that would be cool, rather than kind of like, hey, reminder, this item's here, still here, right? That was kind of, but otherwise it was an okay scene. We see Frank Dean is killing Oscar, so brother to Destiny Gonzalez, so I think that's really interesting. I'll be interested to see where things go with that. I really don't know if I care about the Frank Dean storyline. It's like, Destiny Gonzalez storyline is like, after dealing with the Jonah stuff, I kind of feel like now with the rest of this season, it's like, what's the rest of the story going to be like? And it's not going to feel as interesting or as cool as dealing with Jonah, who's an alien and all that stuff. And now, it's just kind of, you piqued their intentions with this awesome storyline of aliens, and then now that's gone. There's no more, it seems like the rest of the season storyline is going to be interesting to see, because it has to be better than that scene. But that was such a great storyline, dealing with the Jonah being an alien and his spaceship, whereas what do we have left? Just dealing with Pride? It seems kind of boring now after dealing with Jonah as having that as a season storyline. So we'll have to wait and see as to where things go with that. And then the Frank storyline, it seems interesting, but not as interesting as Jonah and an alien spaceship type thing there. So we'll have to wait and see as to kind of where things go with all that. We see Jonah is activating the spaceship, while everyone's down there, and Carolina and everyone down there, she can only carry 2 people up, so she carries Molly and Chase, and then Nico stays down there, but she uses the staff to make a tornado and fly up. So I think that was really cool seeing that. We see that Pride ends up destroying the Jonah spaceship and killing everyone inside and all that stuff. We see Nico, Nico ends up killing Jonah and Carolina, kind of just it's just screen, it's just a great scene. It's so quiet, just the way they filmed it and stuff, everything was perfect. Slow motion as she jumps up and stabs him, everything. It was just, they nailed it. It was a great scene. It was amazing. The colors were just all over the place. It was really cool. Then at the end of the episode, they all go back to their house, and Carolina asks Nico why, and she has no response, and that ending was really good. Like I said, that ending, not necessarily a big enough cliffhanger for an end of a season, but great cliffhanger to get you to watch the next episode, because that's just, oh my god, I can't wait to see as to where things are going to go with all this. So let me know what you think, guys, about all this in the comments below. Where do you think things are going? I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.